I want to tell you about a very special FFA member that I met at alumni camp 2 years ago. He was in my small group my first year as a state officer. Joseph started the week off very quiet, but he listened to what everybody had to say whenever there was a group discussion. On the last night of camp, our group had a very emotional time as several of our group members shared with us some deep thoughts on some life experiences that they had gone through. The whole time, I couldn't help but notice the tears beginning to run down Joseph's face as they spoke. He never said anything, and I wasn't about to ask him what was on his mind and ask him to share it with us. After a while, Joseph spoke up. He began telling us that he'd been going through some really tough times and that he felt surrounded by all the negativity in his life. And it was making him miserable. The group listened intently as Joseph spoke. They comforted him as if they'd known him all their lives. I was astonished at how these FFA members treated Joseph as if he was a brother. The next day, when camp was quiet and all the campers were gone, I sat down to read my happygrams, which is the mail that FFA members give to one another to share memories from camp or positive words. As I was looking through my small group's happygrams, I noticed one that was rather long. And because it was so long, I decided to read it first. It was from Joseph. And this is what I read. Austin, I want to begin by telling you thanks. Thanks for listening to me. You and the group took the time to listen to what was on my mind. And because of it, there's been a difference made in my life. Alumni camp was amazing, and I almost didn't even come. I was going through so much until camp and had reached a point of depression. I almost made some very big mistakes. But because of the difference that camp has made on my life, I now have a new positive outlook. And I now have a new passion for living. As a sophomore in high school, Joseph found his passion. He found that passion that had been shadowed by all the negative things going on in his life. That passion he was born with. And thanks to his fellow FFA members, no, thanks to you guys, he was able to go on and use his passion to become active in his local chapter and eventually decide to run for a state office and serve Oklahoma FFA. That, my friends, is a child of passion. A child of passion is someone who lives life to the fullest. Someone who will stop at nothing to get what it is that they want. Someone who, just like a child, isn't afraid of using their imagination. A child of passion can be young or old. It can be anybody willing to stand on their own 2 feet despite the odds. I challenge you, Oklahoma FFA, to put everything you have, your heart, mind, and soul completely into what you love, even if it's your smallest acts. Do you consider yourself this kind of person? Or have you lost the flame that once burned so brightly within you? Listen to me. Don't let the world burn out that flame. Just because you get older doesn't mean you can't still dream and use your imagination and turn that passion into a mindset. He's someone that will never get the respect that he should, but I try so hard to give it. He's someone that has gone through low points in his life to definite high points. He's someone that I consider to be the strongest, the smartest, the most humble, and the most gifted person I know. He's a perfect example of how passion can help someone to persevere and become what they were meant to be. He is someone I can say all these things about because I know him to be these things and so much more. You know, I was always told that I was a daddy's boy. And guess what? I still am. He's my hero, my role model, the one that has taught me the most of everything I know, and some of what I probably shouldn't. Yes, I'm speaking about my dad. And his life is the perfect example of a child of passion. At the age of 19, my dad had his first child. Now, this was an ugly child with a cone-shaped head. Please take note that ugly stands for unusually good-looking youngster. And yes, I did outgrow the cone-shaped head. You see, at that point, many would say that a 19-year-old just isn't ready to raise a child and to be a good father figure. My dad was. Oh, he was proud. He would do anything and everything for his baby boy. He would even sacrifice his own dreams and goals just to provide for his son. Wherever Daddy would go, I would go. Whatever Daddy would do, I would do. Whenever Daddy would shave, I would shave. Whenever Daddy drove, I would steer. Whatever Daddy would wear, I would wear. Preferably, our boots and jeans. Yes, sir, I was a daddy's boy, and I learned from him. I watched him, and I wanted to be just like him. I even listened to him most of the time. You see, my dad has sacrificed so much because of the passion that he has for his family. He's had trials and hardships in his life just to try and make a better future for himself and his children. He, my friends, is a child of passion. Today, he does what he loves. He has found his passion, and it shows. My dad is one of the best basketball coaches I have ever seen because he puts his heart and soul completely into his work. But the road that it's taken to get there, it wasn't an easy one. You see, he faced challenges that would have caused some to back down. But because of his passion, today he can say that he is living his dream. He used to always say, give it 110%. Do you know what that means? It has taken me 3 FFA jackets, 15 ties, 6 years, 4 pairs of black shoes, 5 pairs of black shacks, several gold chains, 17,000 pounds of show feed, 82,000 miles in the ag truck, and Lord knows how many trips to the dry cleaners to finally figure it out. But this is what it means. If you've been given a job, an opportunity, a purpose, put your passion into it. Take ownership of it. Some people might say, you're making a mess or making noise, but it's your passion, your music. Make the passion for that one thing your identity, and then turn it into a mindset to finish the job. Some people might say that 110% is impossible. I say no. That 10% is the passion that we should all put into our lives.